Dennis from Schwermetallisch here. Last time I had an interview with Tucker Thomasson from Throne of Iron, and we had a lot of fun talking with each other and talked about music, weightlifting, woodwork, and of course Corona and music in general. So enjoy this video and subscribe. Yeah. Hello. This
Hello.
is Schwermetallisch, and I'm interviewing babbling shit with Tucker Thomasson of the band Throne of Iron. And someday I will get it right and spell iron like iron. I don't know how it's spelled for real in the English language, but we Germans struggle with stuff like that.
I had no idea.
What it's like? It's like iron, or is it like iron?
It's pronounced a lot of people, especially like from our region of the United States, from the Midwest, we pronounce it iron, but it is IRON. It's iron. Like that's the proper way to say it. Yeah, for sure. But we ruin everything here. Like the Midwest is the place that the English language came to die, and to a lesser extent, it's a region of the United States where German came to die.
Yeah. We die everywhere, so that's not a big deal. You guys are around since, let me see, 2018. It's not so long ago.
Oh
You
no.
decided to form band after Mark Shelton died, right?
Yeah, Mark's passing was definitely one of the big catalysts. I'd like to think that the seeds for this band had been planted a long time ago, just from friends that I had made and just discussions over heavy metal that I'd had with people over the years, and the cross-pollination that I had when I was like maybe 13 or 14 getting into heavy metal, and also having an older cousin that left his Dungeons and Dragons manuals from the 80s laying around, and it all just kind of went into a pot together and boiled down into what would become this band.
Yeah, nowadays it's the origin story of a band is sometimes a bit more awkward than in the 80s. It's I don't know if you know the band Adjudicator.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I'm not sure of their origin story though.
They formed after a Blind Guardian concert in
Yeah, they all met at a Blind Guardian show.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and this is I really get friends I get to know on I met first at a concert, and sometimes these friendships really last, and I don't know if that's the case for any other genre than heavy metal.
There's Mastodon. I think all of the members of Mastodon met at a High on Fire show in Atlanta. I think that was their backstory. So it's in the similar realm. It does still happen. It's just not nearly as common anymore. I met all the guys that are currently in my group just by all of us being in different bands, playing in the same scene and the same circuit for about 10 years, and then we all just decided that we were going to do something together.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but do you know bands where you do think you should like them, and you really try hard, and you fail?
A big one for me is Neurosis. I, for the life of me, cannot wrap my mind around Neurosis. I appreciate the influence they've had on a bunch of other bands that I like a lot, but I saw Neurosis in I want to say 2018 when they were doing a tour with Amun-Ra and Converge. And I'm very big into Converge. I love Converge. They kind of get into some weird sensibilities that I have regarding music. And Neurosis were a huge influence on Converge and Mastodon and a bunch of other bands. But I just could not like 2 songs in, and I was out the door. I was out the door trying to get back to my van so I could start driving back home.
Yeah, I know that. With me, it's sleep.
Sleep, that makes sense. I my introduction to Matt Pike's guitar playing was High on Fire, so I think I'm always going to like High on Fire more than I like Sleep.
My problem with both bands is the lyrics,
Okay.
the vocals. It's like I don't like the sludge attempt at vocals.
Okay.
If you just scream your lungs out, it's fine for therapy, but I
That
don't
makes sense.
I cannot
It's
bear that.
it's I'm actually kind of self-conscious a little bit about the way I sing in Throne of Iron. This is actually the first band that I've been in that I'm not doing harsh vocals in. I done harsh vocals, screaming, gutturals exclusively for something like 12 years before this band.
For me, it's like every cell of my body
Just is repulsed by it.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's coming from a weird angle, I think, because I, for the life of me, cannot do harsh vocals. It's like I try to do it, and it sounds great for about 1 minute, and then I'm done. My
And then you're just
throat
completely tapped out.
just cannot do it. I can do high vocals, really high, like falsetto shit and stuff like that. But the mids are nice, the highs are nice. But my brother, for instance, he can do really deep gutturals. It's he can growl and he doesn't break a sweat doing it, and it's all like, oh nah, what the fuck. And with me, it's like I can go really high and he can't. It's strange.
That's
So, but it's just a hobby. No one wants to play with me. Yeah, I did a lot of tryouts with bands, but it was always one part of the band. The drummer or the bass man always hated me for no reason at all, because I went just in there and it was day one, and we had a couple of hours, and someone always said, he sucks.
That's and I've never had to deal with auditioning for someone else's band. I always just circumvent that by starting my own. That just I think I've been responsible for the formation of something like 7 bands that have actually been active gigging groups over my music career.
My problem is I have no one in my circle of friends who plays an instrument.
That's rough. Yeah, that's rough.
But I don't have many metalheads in my circle of friends, so that's my problem, I think. But yeah, you know,
we all find ways to overcome. Living here in the Midwest, United States, it can get very isolating. And definitely when I was growing up, that was for sure an issue. I think that there was myself and maybe 3 or 4 other guys in my very small town who listened to heavy music, and it was kind of hard to have a conversation on any of this, let alone actually get together and maybe even play music. I didn't start resolving the issue of finding more people to play with. God, I think maybe until like my early 20s. When I started traveling more, even then, you know, I would have to drive an hour, maybe 2 hours to go meet other people to do music with.
yeah, that's another problem I have. I have no driver's license and I have no car. So okay, in Germany, especially in the area I'm living, it's if I really wanted to start a band, I could do so quite easily, because the networking here is pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good region for concerts. and there are lots of metalheads around. But I don't know how to put it. I'm very picky when it comes to friends.
Which I understand. I'm 100% the same way.
It's do you know people approaching you and you instantly realize, oh, that one wants to be my friend really hard, and it's like, oh no, but I really don't.
With me, I'll be very cordial and I'll be anyone's friend really, but every now and then I'll get somebody who very desperately wants me to be in a band with them, and I'm such a control freak that I don't like unless I really really love the project that I'm walking into, or if it's a very close friend that I'm already acquainted with, and I am willing to just be the guy in the back seat that just shuts up and plays what they tell me. If that's not what's happening, I'm most likely not interested. I'm such a control freak about all of my music that I do.
Yeah, that's but in this do-it-yourself era, it's those people usually come out top. Just like Trevor.
Yeah,
Church.
exactly. I was getting ready to bring Trevor up. I think he's definitely the shining example of the city on the hill in regards to DIY control freakery, because like on the most recent record, I think he played every instrument on there. He even played drums on the newest one. Yeah.
He did on Flashback, and he did on the Triumph thing. And I think this will maybe stay that way, because he likes to only have himself to blame if something is a fuck up.
Yep. And that's the same, and I'm the same way with music as with like all the rent. I bought a home. I bought my house in July, I want to say. Yeah, in July. And all the work that's been done on this house to make it not a fire hazard and make it more livable it's all things that I've done myself. One, because I burned through my savings account buying the house. And two, because if something goes wrong, I only want to be able to blame myself.
You built that giant desk too.
Oh yeah, my table in the next room. Yeah. That's actually my first big woodworking project was that. I had all this space in my basement and I needed something to fill it, and I wanted an excuse to have people over once the world is a little less crazy, and I built that.
Yeah, that's fucking great. I cannot do stuff like that. I'm not good when it comes to woodwork, something like holding a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more.
I didn't know I was. I didn't know that I could do that until I kind of backed myself into a corner there by buying all the materials for it, and then I just had it in a pile on the floor, and I said, well, I suppose I should try to build a table now.
That's good. Sometimes it's a good idea to corner oneself.
Yeah.
It's a bit like if you say to all your friends that you stop smoking, and then you have to do it because you will look like a pussy if you don't.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why every now and then I'll if I'm not feeling a workout that day, if I'm not feeling like actually coming down here to my barbell and doing everything that I need to be doing, sometimes I'll live stream it just so I have near strangers holding me accountable if I dip out early. Although I have gotten copyright slammed because I listen to music when I do that, and Facebook's auto copyright filter does not like that.
Yeah, YouTube too. I had some problems with my videos too. Even if I played the music of a band I interviewed while doing this for the label.
That's so a lot of bands and labels forget is when they use services like DistroKid is the big one for uploading music to YouTube and Spotify and all these places. There's a checkbox that you can check that will copyright flag your stuff if people use it in YouTube videos, and I always leave that blank. I want people to use our music wherever they want. And like, if you message us and I say yes, go ahead, there will not be an auto filter that will come down and hit you with a hammer for putting our music in one of your videos. I don't like that. I want people to use I want people to use our stuff for whatever they want.
So
I want fan creation.
Music for every video now.
By all means, yeah, do it.
Yeah, on to the interview part of this whole conversation.
Oh wow, we haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Oh, kind of. When did you start making music and why the fuck?
So I started making music when I think I wrote my first song when I was 15, and it never saw the light of day. It was just something that I just did to pass the time. It was very Soilwork influenced. Originally, I wanted to start like a very in 2005. When I was 15, it would have been 2006. So in the United States, the Gothenburg scene was getting really, really big in the United States. Like, everybody wanted to sound like In Flames or Soilwork or Dark Tranquillity. Anybody that wasn't trying to do the American metalcore thing, which I was not. I wanted to sound like Soilwork. So yeah, the first song I ever wrote sounded like that. But what got me into heavy music was, I think when I was like maybe 9 years old, I heard Judas Priest on the radio, and that kind of just cemented it for me. I think it was You Got Another Thing Coming. I heard that on a classic rock station here, and that completely, that warped my stupid little brain into wanting to hear guitars that sound like hammers hitting cinder blocks all the time. And then puberty happened, and I all of a sudden had all of this energy and rage and stuff, and so I started playing guitar because I had all these ideas that I wanted to put out into the world, and I couldn't do that through visual art because I used to do visual art a lot, and it just kind of reached some points where it was limiting, and that was that. I started playing music, I started writing music. I played my first show with my first band when I was 17. Yeah, 17. We were a stoner doom band, and I was actually in that band until 2019. So 12 years? Yeah, I was in the same band for 12 years. I was in my first band for 12 years. And I started some other bands along the way just because I had other ideas that didn't quite fit that mold. And eventually one of those bands ended up being Throne of Iron.
Yeah. So, if you if someone follows you on Facebook or Instagram, you get the notion you do nothing but heavy metal and lifting weights.
And petting cats. I pet my cats a lot.
I blinked when that happened.
I pet my cats a lot. It's definitely like a lifestyle that I've made for myself, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I watched so many of my peers who I got into playing heavy metal with, who they would get these amazing opportunities to go do tours or go join this band or maybe go play a festival or something overseas. And they would have to back out on it because of, I can't because of my job. And I resolved to never let that be me. So I always picked jobs that will let me live the life that I want to live. Like I work to live instead of live to work, which is kind of something that you don't see a whole lot, especially here in the Midwest. And I just refused to compromise on it for the entirety of my adult life. So now I'm finally in a position where I work from home. I have a job that I work at the same desk that I record and I make music at. And I essentially just, aside from my job, which isn't extremely demanding, I essentially just kind of do whatever I want, which is an interesting position to be in, to say the least.
What are you working? What is your daily work you do at your desk?
I do social media consulting.
Ah, like people like Matt Bacon.
I'm nowhere near as skilled as that guy. He's an animal. He really is. Actually being in the same room as him back in March, because we stayed with him when we were supposed to fly to play in Europe. He's an absolute character. Everything that you see in the way he presents himself online, that's how he is in real life. It's insane. He doesn't turn off. He barely sleeps. I don't know if I saw him drink water or eat food the entire time I was around him.
Yeah, I had a few phone calls with him because he wanted to learn German.
That sounds like him. He's a very multifaceted guy who just wants to absorb as much information as he can around him. He's a very interesting dude.
The funny thing about Matt is that he's not an American guy. He's French.
Yeah, he's French.
And
never know
you don't have a clue if you listen to him talking in English, but we talked a bit in German, and if he talks in another language, he instantly sounds French.
Yeah,
he has this
and you would never know it. He has such like when he speaks English, he has such a like I would call it a non-regional dialect. It sounds very like a newscaster almost, like a news anchor. But when I heard him, he called over to Swiss Airlines for us because the English hotline was completely backed up. It was totally flooded with phone calls. So in order to get through to get some information for us, he called the French line, and it was like a switch was hit. And it was like, oh, I forgot. Matt's French.
Yeah, he's really great. He did help me a lot with my social media bubble, mostly with my Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is the big platform to be on. That and Twitter, and I'm still getting the hang of Twitter, but
Twitter is fucking with my brain, really.
Esoteric is the word that I would use for Twitter. It's a bizarre place.
Yes, everyone is so how do I put it? There are many people that know extremely well how to put things into words on Twitter.
And I think that's a mechanism they've had to develop because of the character limitations on the post.
And they like to destroy people.
Yes, especially on Metal Facebook.
Oh, it's
Metal
it's really,
Facebook is a cruel place.
it's really frightening. It's like I'm not a political person in terms of stuff about politics.
Right.
I'm more of a political person in terms of you behave badly. In terms of you're racist or you're sexist, and I call people out because they're acting like that.
Yes.
That's my political side. And there are very eloquent people on Twitter who rip you to shreds if you say something that is not 100% right or researched and stuff. And because of that, I'm Twitter is not my game.
I'm working on it. There's definitely more of a learning curve to it than a lot of the other platforms, but it's an interesting place.
So once again, I have to I'm German, you know. Next question. So that's the stuff I wanted to put out of my mouth. What is your favorite song of Throne of Iron?
The favorite song that we've done, I think it might actually be The Cryptid Blades, the title track from the split that we did with Hills Far. Um, I think that was the first riff that I wrote for something that wasn't going to be on the first album. Because even though that split came out before the full length, it was written after the full length and recorded after the full length. The wheels just turned much faster for that release.
Yeah, I still have had that in mind that there were things working parallel, and yeah, sometimes
It doesn't change the narrative of the band or anything like that. It's just a nice little fun fact.
for a band like them, it would be really shitty because the records interconnect with each other story-wise, so that would fuck the whole thing up
Right.
really to shreds.
Yeah.
But if it has no connection to another album, it's like it doesn't matter. What are your future goals for Throne of Iron once this shit show of a year is over and we got rid of COVID?
Once COVID is banished to the Shadow Realm, we were supposed to tour in April. Obviously, we were supposed to play it up to Hammers Festival in March in Greece, but we were supposed to do a full U.S. tour in April as well. That didn't happen because of COVID. And I love touring a lot, and that's something that is actually weirdly rare for a lot of American bands. There's a fair number of American bands, when they're young, they're starting, and they talk about how, oh, I can't wait to tour, I can't wait to be on the road, and then when they realize how much work that actually is and how much logistical nitpicking is involved with planning something like that, the wind gets sucked out of their sails and they just give up. And or maybe they'll do a couple tours and then they decide that they don't like it that much, that it is in fact too much work. Me, because I'm such a control freak and a taskmaster, I love it. I love getting down to the minutia and figuring out, like, okay, here's our fuel costs for this week of the tour. Here's how many miles we're gonna have to drive in one day. Here's the schedule for if we decide to drive in shifts for this, we can do it this way. Here's how much van rental is. I love all of that. I don't know. I feel very. It's one of the few times in my life that I feel very mentally together because the rest of my life is so chaotic. So having something that I can be very goal-oriented towards, like touring and planning a tour, is really good for me. I just like seeing as much of this country and of the world as I can. Our tour out there in April was out in the western United States, which is just my favorite part of the country to see. It's all mountains and high plains and deserts, and it's all things that are very, very dear to me. And I relish the opportunity to at least try to get out there every couple of years or so, and that kind of got ruined because of COVID. And I would like to eventually give Europe a fair shot. I really would.
There are beautiful parts in Europe. I I did not travel as much as I would have wanted in my life, but I can say there are beautiful places in Germany. I was in Spain, in Italy, and in the Czech Republic, Netherlands, of course, and Belgium. And I think that's about it. Yeah, Bulgaria. I saw Bulgaria that was more than 30 years ago. But yeah, that was a nice place. I saw a pirate ship that was worked into a bar in a pirate ship on the beach.
That's amazing. I love that.
I will never forget that shit. That was really cool. Talking about touring, if you could choose any band on this planet, who would you like to accompany on tour?
Haunt.
Haunt?
I think I just want to be in person around Trevor and just pick his brain all the time. He would get so annoyed with me. He'd hate me by the end of that tour.
Or you would morph into one organism.
Ugh, that'd be even worse.
Well, that would be a tour I would really like to see. I had the opportunity to see Haunt on tour last year with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tour with Screamer, and I don't know how to speak the name of that band. It's Tanith?
Tanith? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The TH is not strong with me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting hearing other languages, how they handle the TH.
Yeah, I really would love to just end the words with TH.
Yeah.
So people would know, okay, that was a TH.
Another band that I would really like to, there's friends from Gainesville, Florida, called Stunner, and yeah, definitely them. They're fun. we got to play a Rapid Fire Festival in North Carolina with them about this time last year, and we rented a house with them to stay at over the course of the festival, and it was just insane. they're goofballs.
Maybe I will do a video with a few musicians telling me how to do a proper TH for about an hour. Just
well,
just a matrix of 20 people telling me, no, it's wrong.
With English, so much of it is contextual, which is really a pain in the ass. I completely understand and acknowledge that the native language that I speak is a colossal pain in the ass. It really is. It makes no sense. It's a hodgepodge of loan words and multiple languages just smashed together. It's awful.
I only got two problems with the English language. It's the proper TH, and sometimes I'm at a loss of words. Just I know what I want to say, but the words don't come to me. So and especially in an interview, it's like, and the other person is thinking, okay, yeah, maybe he's got a stroke.
Or is Skype freezing?
What again? Yeah. So that's the two major problems with the English language, and sometimes I think I'm just speaking too fast to really speak it right. So
I feel that way, and I'm a native speaker.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, one more question, and this question is a really hard one for most people. What is your favorite heavy metal band aside from Manilla Road?
Accept.
Yes,
100% accept. Like just between Balls to the Wall, Breaker, Metal Heart, Restless and Wild. Restless and Wild was, I think, the first heavy metal album that I ever owned. So yeah, because I love Accept. I love everything they do. They have such a unique style. Wolf Hoffman's guitar playing is one of the biggest influences on how I approach the instrument, especially for what I'm playing now.
Did you have the opportunity to check out the solo outputs of Wolf Hoffman?
Nope, not yet. I thought you were going to say Udo. But...
Yeah, they're pretty good. Udo or Mark?
What year?
I can say for myself, I never did like the banshee screaming of Udo. The first.
You prefer Mark?
Yeah, I prefer Mark because he's okay. It's harsh singing. It's a bit like AC/DC, but he's got an attitude I like in the voice, and I never liked Udo. It's strange. Sometimes my brain is just like that.
To me, I think that Blood of Nations might be the best heavy metal comeback record of any band ever. I truly think that. I think Blood of Nations is such a strong record.
I have to embarrass myself once again. Um, I don't know that much about Manilla Road, to be honest. I just know, I don't know,
Basics.
maybe a few songs. So, what should I listen to?
You should listen to Crystal Logic, and then you should listen to Open the Gates.
Noted.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're pretty sound. They're different. They're clearly the same band, but they're pretty distinct monoliths. They're pretty distinct and different.
okay. So a big shout out once again I really forgot the name again of that dude that designed the T-shirt. It's
David Paul Seymour.
David Paul. Yeah. I was at Mark Paul, but I know him from Instagram. We are Instagram pals.
Yeah.
We don't know each other, but I follow him. But I like his designs a lot.
He's a funny dude. He really is.
Yeah, I will. Once I did save enough money for a T-shirt myself with a unique design for Schwermetallisch, I will hit him up and make him go crazy with my ideas.
Right there with cash in hand to purchase it.
So, I'm out of ammunition, out of questions for today, and what can I say? Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome, very welcome. I think I will have to do a few more of this. I have an interview every Sunday, and every Friday I release it on my YouTube channel, and I think I have to do even more of them. I may have the chance to do an interview with Cragen from Heathen.
Okay, yeah.
And I have to ask him again because he said, okay, well, we can do that. And then I got scared.
Oh.
And I got a bit scared because Heathen is big for me.
Mm-hmm. But to be fair, I feel like if I were in your position, I would definitely be getting starstruck just all the time. There are so many people that I would just be terrified of sending an email to.
I can tell you, I did one interview with Arian Anthony Lucassen of Arian, and okay. I'm a really big fan since I think 1998. Mm-hmm. Do you know the band?
I'm wholly unfamiliar.
That's
if you want to send me a link, I have very little going on. Actually, we're doing some stuff for the band today, but I will have time.
It's not a big band in the US. It's very progressive. It's
okay.
Like maybe you know Avantasia.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, it's like that. Just he did start it a bit earlier, and he's a guy from the Netherlands. So, but he's really brilliant in my opinion, and I was really starstruck to do an interview with him. We did not have any visuals, so you just see me talking and the black screen on the other side because he wasn't prepared for doing it with visuals. But that was pretty cool, and he was really nice. So that helped a bit.
Terrific.
So, Craig will be the next. I will send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it for now. Have a nice Sunday and have fun with the band.
I'm going to try. We're doing some interesting stuff today, so I'll keep you in the loop on that.
Yeah, thank you. So, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.